Okay, now let's talk about arguably the bigger, more important to me aspect that's coming through this weekend. Mercury is coming to the end of Scorpio, and it's creating a grand water trine with Jupiter in late Cancer and Saturn in late Pisces. So all three of the water signs of the zodiac are activated by this water trine. Mercury is trining Jupiter on Friday the 24th. The next day, Saturday the 25th, it trines Saturn. I think that this aspect is incredibly important because this is the first in a string of several moments between now and the rest of the year where this water trine gets activated. Whatever Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are cooking up for us, manifesting for us this weekend, this is the first hit out of several. We're gonna have Mercury, Mars, the Sun, and then finally Venus, all entering like this later part of Scorpio and perfecting this grand water trine. Mercury is actually doing it 3 times because Mercury is going to station retrograde and come back to this grand water trine. So Mercury's first hit is this weekend, and then it comes back while it's retrograde around late November, around the same time that the Sun enters Sagittarius. And then it stations direct and comes back for a third and final water trine in early December. It's like the 6th and the 7th. A trine is an aspect where you don't have to work too hard. You're experiencing the momentum of decisions that have already been made or work that's already been put in. And this water trine especially very much feels like the water is bringing you something. All you have to do is show up at the shore and the water is going to carry something to you. The element of water is quite spiritual and heart-centered. It's connected to something a little deeper than like the surface level bullshit that we're typically engaged in. I really love water energy. I'm kind of a watery person. I don't have that many water placements in my chart. I'm pretty convinced that's just because like I don't need any more. I kind of came into this life with a lot of like spiritual wisdom, not so much like earth wisdom. Like, how do I make this real? I can talk about it, I can feel about it, but like, how do I make it materially manifest itself, you know? Anyway, water is, yes, very spiritually enlightening. It is also mysterious in ways that we humans don't actually fully understand. Water giveth, water taketh away. What is the safe, life-giving water of the womb is the same water that will drown you once you no longer need to be in the womb. You know what I mean? This much water very well could be reflecting some kind of deluge. We want to be, really in touch with our emotions and with the spiritual current that we are being carried by. There's also definitely a way to just have like too much spiritual connectedness to the point where you're not really living in this world anymore. You're kind of off with the fairies. I don't feel a level of certainty yet surrounding what this series of water trines is bringing us. I want to see what this first one has to say first. But part of the reason we're having these water trines is because Saturn and Neptune at this point have receded. They've retrograded back into Pisces for the last time in our lifetimes, for Neptune at least. Saturn won't be back in Pisces for 28 to 36 years, somewhere in there. Saturn and Neptune have been in Pisces for so long now. Neptune's been there since 2011, and Saturn's been there, I think, since maybe 2023. A lot has changed for us as these two planets have transited Pisces, and now they're here for the last time until, I believe it's February. They both move into Aries, never to return to Pisces again for at least 30 years. It's like there's this call to remember something and to release it. You're probably remembering something so that you can give it a final goodbye. Water is quite sacrificial in some ways, and more than that, it's that the things that you think matter are not what matters to water. The material world is very dense and really gets hung up on stasis. We want to create things that never change. We want to get back to a status quo. And water is constantly moving on, always. I think water has kind of mastered the art of having an experience, letting it be meaningful, and knowing how to let it go and move on, which is something that a lot of us humans struggle with. Water says it's not that nothing matters, it's that everything matters. And the period of time or the like era in your life that you are saying your goodbyes to and leaving behind is meaningful, but no more so than the period of time or era that you're heading toward. There's, I think, something to be said for practicing loyalty to the current. Water stuff has always been really hard for me to put into words. I know what I'm thinking, I know what I feel, but it's hard to translate it. The nature of your existence is constantly shifting, it's constantly changing, and maybe it's time to lean into that. I'm thinking maybe I misspoke earlier when I said that the water was carrying something to us. I think maybe the water is carrying us. Like, if you're looking for deliverance, you can't stay on the shore. You have to get in the water. You have to let it carry you. I think it would be wise to just take note of what manifests for you this weekend. As I mentioned, it's getting revisited several times. Something is being delivered, either to you or you are being delivered to something. I think the nature of the deliverance or the deluge that you're experiencing is going to be heavily dependent on what parts of your chart are ruled by water signs. If you would like a little more insight on the areas of life that are being impacted by these repeated water trines, or how to navigate this much watery energy, feel free to book a one-on-one session with me at delphiastro.com. I would love to work with you and kind of map out the parts of your chart that are being impacted here. Another option for you would be to sign up for my $10 tier. It's called Actual Cup of Coffee Crying Emoji. For folks at that tier, I provide monthly horoscope write-ups and videos that are specific to your rising sign. So that would be another way to kind of determine what areas of your life are most being impacted and how to navigate this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I will chat with you soon. Good job today. Good luck out there.